Hi, it's Coach Monica, and I'm about to expose the pattern that many successful people have but refuse to admit. You can negotiate $1 million deals, you can manage teams of people who actually listen and respect you. You hit every single deadline, even the impossible ones. But here's what's driving me crazy as a coach. You can't stick to a workout routine for 3 weeks. You're successful at literally everything except the one thing that determines how long you get to enjoy all of that success: your health. And before you tell me you're just too busy, you don't have the time, stop. Because we make time for what's important to us. We make time what we feel is a priority. Because I know plenty of busy people who have figured this out. I've seen it over the years. The real question isn't about time, it's about why your professional superpowers are actually sabotaging your health. Today, we're exposing the brutal truth about why high achievers are the absolute worst at health consistency, at lifestyle consistency. And more importantly, I'm giving you the system that finally makes it stick. Because I'm done, absolutely done watching successful people destroy their longevity runway with restart cycles. So let's start with something that's going to sting just a little, not a lot, maybe a lot, but we'll see. Success skills and health skills. They're completely different games with completely different rules. Let me explain. At work, you succeed by saying yes to opportunities. In health and fitness, you succeed by saying no to most things and yes to very few. At work, you succeed by reacting and putting out fires. In health, you succeed by being proactive and preventing fires. At work, you can pull all nighters, skip lunch, um, work out, go past 8 o'clock or take work home. During your all nighters, you use coffee and adrenaline to help you recover and stay alert. Your body, after 40 years old, it doesn't give you the luxury to do that anymore. Who does that anymore? Or at least effectively or sustainably, right? Here's what's really happening though. By 3 p.m., your brain has made about 35 gazillion decisions. You've solved problems, you've managed people, you put out fires. Your decision making muscle is like completely maxed out. It's like, I'm over you, buddy. I can't do it anymore. So when you get home and you see those running shoes, your brain's literally like saying, yeah, I don't have any juice left. I can't make not one other decision today. At least not a good one, right? So what happens? It becomes decision fatigue to think of another or to make another decision at that point. And this is why you can close a deal at 2 p.m. and then order a pizza at 7 p.m. But it's not a character flaw, it's just biology, right? You're tapped out. But here's where it gets worse. You're stuck in what's called an overcommitment trap. You say yes to every meeting, every project, every opportunity, except yourself. You'll move mountains for your boss or for your client, but you won't move your body for 20 minutes. Let that sit for a second. Let it sit. Let it marinate. I want you to really think about that. And then here comes the identity crisis. You think, I'm successful at everything else, so why am I failing at this? I don't understand. You start questioning your discipline, your willpower, your character. But here's the truth, ladies and gentlemen. You're not failing because you lack discipline. You've proven that. You know how to be disciplined. You're not at the point because you're trying to get used to using work strategies for your health goals. And you cannot use work strategies or business strategies for your health goals. Your body doesn't care about your quarterly targets. It doesn't care that you've gotten promoted. It doesn't care that you're crushing it professionally. Your body operates on a completely different set of rules. And until you learn those rules, you're just going to keep falling and failing with this approach. So let's talk about like your biggest enemy after 40. What do you think that might be? It's the all or nothing mindset. All or nothing. If it's not all, I do nothing. No, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Monday morning, you're going to work out 5 times this week. You're going to meal prep like a champion because you got this, right? You found all these recipes on Pinterest, or your friend sent you a whole meal plan that they're using. You get 8 hours of sleep every night. By Wednesday, life happens. By Friday, it's blown. You've blown it. You didn't even get to start. So you might as well just wait until Monday to start again. And that cycle repeats itself over and over and over and over. And this is called the restart cycle. Sounds familiar? This is the Monday restart trap. It's literally killing your progression. It's, well, the progression that never even started is just killing progress that you never fairly got to start, right? But what's happening in your brain? You've been so conditioned by professional success to think in terms of projects and clear starts and end dates, launch the campaign, close the quarter, finish that presentation. But health isn't a project. It's a lifestyle. It's a return on investment. It's longevity. It's your wealth. There is no finish line, but you keep treating it like a project. You start on Monday, you fall off on Wednesday, you restart next Monday, and rinse and repeat for years. For years. And you look up, you're 5 years older, you're a decade older. Now you're starting from an even harder disadvantage in terms of aging and body challenges that may have come up over that time. And here's the kicker. You think motivation is going to save you. Most of us, we think, oh, if I just get motivated, right? And we've talked about that in previous episodes. You're waiting to feel motivated to work out. You're waiting for the perfect time because you could start eating better, that you get done through this project that you're working on because you have all these late nights and you've got travel and everything that happens as a professional, right? But motivation is a luxury that busy people can't afford. You can't afford to wait on something that you don't need to get started. You don't need motivation. I promise you, you don't. Motivation is like the weather. It comes and it goes. It's sort of like, this is off topic, but it's sort of like a relationship, right? You fall in love, but do you have that fall in love feelings forever? Maybe, maybe not. Most people not. But that doesn't mean you get divorced. That's just my opinion. Back on topic. You don't wait for the perfect weather to go to work, do you? No, you go to work when it's raining. You go to work when it's snowing, unless it's super inclement weather. But most of the time, you're going to go to work when it's raining. You don't stay at home because it's raining. You have systems, you have backup plans, you have non negotiables. But with your health, you're completely dependent on feeling like it. And after 40, with everything on your plate, you're never going to consistently feel like it. You go to work, but do you feel like going to work every day? No. As a business owner, do you feel like operating your business today, every day? No. There are days you really don't feel like being a professional. You may enjoy it most of the time. It may be your purpose most of the time, but that doesn't mean you feel like doing it every single day. But then there's the perfectionism paralysis. You're waiting on the perfect meal plan. You're waiting on the perfect workout schedule. You're waiting on the perfect time when work isn't crazy. Newsflash, that time doesn't exist. Perfect is the enemy of consistent. Here's the discipline myth that keeps you stuck. You think you're undisciplined? No, 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 no. You're not. You're not undisciplined. You show up to work every day, like I just said, every day, whether you feel like it or not. You meet your deadlines, whether you're motivated or not. If you've got $1 million deal in the wing, you're going to close on that deal. No matter what you have to do, no matter what resources you have to pull, no matter what other people in your work space or colleagues that you've got to bring in to help you land that deal, you're going to land that deal. You're going to land that deal. You have incredible discipline. You're just using the wrong system when it comes to your health. But you have discipline, or you would be slacking off at work and likely not have that job anymore, or likely your business would go out of you would go out of business because you're not engaged in your own business, right? The real problem is the identity mismatch, right? Deep down, we all can see this. We all feel this way sometimes. Deep down, you see yourself as someone that should be healthy, not someone who is healthy. You're trying to force healthy behaviors onto an identity that doesn't match. Peep this, someone who is healthy doesn't restart every Monday. They adjust, they adapt, they have systems when things get busy, crazy, chaotic, right? They don't quit, they modify. Think about some of the most infamous athletes or business men or women who are very, very successful. Do you not think they have not have chaotic weeks and crazy weeks, off seasons, overload in work, but they still manage to stay healthy, stay grounded in their fitness and health lifestyle, make good food choices, get sleep. They do the things to make sure that machine that they carry and tote every day and day in and day out is optimized. All right. So, enough about problems. Let's talk about solutions because I love a good solution. That's what I do as a coach is find solutions and strategies that's going to help you be successful. And so let's talk a little bit about solutions. First, you need to stop chasing perfection and start building systems. Systems don't require motivation. Nope. Systems don't require perfect conditions. Nope. Systems work whether you feel like it or not. We can agree on that, right? This is where my plan A, B, and C framework comes in. This is the system that I've created that ends the restart cycle forever, forever. Plan A is your ideal week. We've talked about this framework in previous episodes, but I want to break it down a little bit more today as it relates to our high achievers, high performers, professionals, business owners. Plan A is the ideal week. Everything goes perfectly. You work out 4 times a week. You meal prep on Sundays. Yay. Yay for the meal prep. You get 8 hours of sleep. This happens maybe, I say about 20% of the time. The perfect week. Plan B is real life. That's real life. You're busy. You're not drowning, but you're busy. You get, let's say, 2 workouts a week. You focus on your protein and you try to aim for 7 hours of sleep. This should be happening around 60% of the time. Over 50% is really good, right? But then there's plan C. This is your hard modifier. This is when you're surviving. Everything's on fire at work. The kids are sick. Life is chaotic. You do 10 minutes of movement, you eat one healthy meal, and you stick to a consistent bedtime. This happens around 20%. And you see the two parallels, right? Plan A and Plan C are opposites of each other at 20% of the time because that's kind of how life gauges, right? We can find ourselves having a perfect week, if you will, all the way down to next week is totally chaotic and we didn't see it coming. But here's the magic Plan C isn't failure, it's maintenance, it's modification, it's adjusting, it's adapting to what's happening in our life that is unexpected and unplanned for. It keeps your longevity runway intact during turbulence. But most people only have plan A. When they can't do plan A, they do nothing. Hence, all or nothing mindset. That's the restart cycle. This gives way to an unhealthy cycle. With plan A, B, and C, you never have to do anything but just go to the next move. If plan A can't happen, you know how to move to plan B. If plan B can't happen, you move to plan C. But you're never off your game. You stay moving through some type of plan. Yeah? But here's the deeper work. Here's the deeper work. You need that identity shift, right? You've got to stop saying, I'm trying to be healthy, and start saying, I'm someone who protects my longevity runway, my return on investment on life. You feel the difference? Because at the end of the day, what you do now no matter your age, but especially over 40, will be the outcome of what and who you are in 20, 30, 40 years. It is the foundation in which you can have foresight about in the future. It's predictability. Now, as I've said in past episodes, we can never predict exact health outcomes of our life and the longevity of it. But what we can do is make it a priority, make it an investment, our time, our efforts, our resources to ensure that we are doing as much as we can to prevent any particular unfortunate outcomes as much as possible. That's all we can do, right? Because ultimately we don't have the big control. We only can do what we can do within our control. And here's the interconnectivity. Someone who protects their longevity runway doesn't skip workouts, they modify them. They don't eat perfectly, they eat strategically. That means you're not sitting there snacking on junk, drinking tons of, Cokes and uh, carbs galore versus a smoothie and maybe some nuts and perhaps some fruit, some teas. I mean, there's alternatives, right? There are alternatives. They don't wait for motivation. You follow the system. People don't wait to be motivated. You just have a system in place. And this is about consistency over intensity. I'm not implying that you need to kill, every week you need to be killing it in the gym to the point of passing out, right? No, it's about being smart, strategic, having a system and a plan that you can follow and sustain week after week after week. And at some point, you take a break if you need to take a couple of weeks off. Let your body recover, let your body kind of reset, and then get right back to it. These small actions compound over decades. Your 25-year-old self could get away with intensity spurts, the high intensity, crazy workouts for 3 hours in the gym, and then maybe, do that a few times a week and then skip a week and then back in the gym. Like you could handle that when you're younger because your metabolism's different. You have a different schedule. You didn't have families. There's a lot of reasons that what we used to do can't happen now because we're older and we have a different life and a different lifestyle and perhaps a family and more responsibilities. Your 40 plus self needs consistency. Bottom line. That's it. Nothing else. And speaking of systems that actually work, I need to tell you about something I'm launching. Super excited about. Because here's the truth. I'm done watching successful people destroy their health with restart cycles. I'm done. I'm done seeing high achievers who can run companies but can't run a consistent health routine. So on June 21st, 2026, I'm launching the beta called Stop Starting Over, the Longevity Runway System for Adults Over 40. And this is not another fitness program. I'm promising you, you'll love working out. No, I'm not promising that at all. This isn't another meal plan. You'll quit in 2 weeks because that's when people usually do quit their meal plans. This is a complete system designed specifically for successful people who are tired of failing at one thing that matters the most: their health and fitness lifestyle. What we're going to do during this beta is we're going to build a plan A, B, C framework specifically for you. We're going to identify your restart triggers and eliminate them. We're going to shift your identity from someone who should be healthy to someone who is healthy, who makes their health and fitness a priority. Wouldn't that just be like amazing to be able to say, I am healthy because I follow a system that allows me to stay in the game? Yeah. And most importantly, we're going to end your restart cycle forever. We're done with it, right? Let's just throw that out the door. It's played out because your longevity runway is way too important to keep gambling with Monday motivation, gambling with, uh, man, I've been trying for 3 months to get back into the gym. I've been trying 3 months to eat right. I've been trying for all of the whole year to get back on track. Aren't you tired of saying that? If that's you, if that's you should be tired of saying that because your health is truly your wealth. I cannot emphasize that enough. Your health is truly your wealth, and you can't take it for granted. You can't take it for granted. If you're ready to stop starting over and you're ready to start building systems that actually stick, then stay tuned for more details about that. I'm excited. All right. So before you go anywhere and before we get off today, I have 3 things I need you to do this week, not next Monday, but this week. Because in every episode of our podcast, I offer some practical action steps you can take today to help move the needle in your lifestyle. So, first thing I need you to do is pick your plan B version of fitness. Not your ideal plan A when life is perfect and you have unlimited time and energy that most of us don't have. Your plan B is real life. Maybe that's 20 minutes of strength sessions and protein at breakfast. Maybe that's 3 15-minute walks and one healthy meal per day. I don't care what it is. I really don't. As long as you have one. Whatever makes sense in your life, what's measurable, what's sustainable, what's doable, what makes sense for your resources, but it needs to be something you can do when life is crazy. Write it down right now. This becomes your non negotiable minimum. Okay? It's just your minimum. Second thing I want you to do is identify your restart trigger. Like, what makes you quit? What makes you find yourself in a restart cycle often? Or you do start and then you quit again, or you never get started because of something that triggers you. It could be missing 2 days in a row, eating pizza on Friday night, carving out at Sunday dinner. Um, you have crazy work weeks. I want you to write that down. What is the pattern that you can think about in the past that has caused you to either restart or not get started? And you can see it coming because you've done it enough. You need to adjust instead of quitting. Awareness is the first step to breaking the cycle. And the third thing I want you to do this week, remember this week, and this is the most important, is practice the identity shift that needs to happen. This week, I want you, every time you make a healthy choice, whether it's taking the stairs or ordering a really great salad or doing 10 push ups on your knees, I want you to change your internal dialogue. Don't say, well, I'm just trying to be healthy. Say, I'm someone who protects my longevity runway because I get to enjoy all of my success today in 20 years due to the healthy lifestyle choices I make today. That's the mindset that sticks, not I'm trying to be healthy, right? Your restart cycle ends today. Stop starting over, start adjusting. Your future self is counting on the choices that you make this week, next week, the week after, every year, every month, every year. It's not a perfect plan if you start next Monday, right? So I hope that this episode hit home for you today. If you recognize yourself in the restart cycle, share it with someone else who needs to hear the same message. We're changing the conversation from perfection to consistency, one professional at a time. That's what we're doing here. Next week, we're talking to the women out there who are still chasing their 25-year-old bodies while their 45-year-old bodies fall apart. Yep, episode 8, Why Women Over 40 Need Muscle More Than Skinny. Strength is your superpower. Trust me, you don't want to miss it. Until then, I'm Coach Monica, and remember, your longevity runway starts with the systems that you build today, not the perfect plan you'll start tomorrow. Thanks. See you soon.